Smoking a Winston she picked up off the ground. She said 35 feels like 100 years old when you're dodging the rain and hiding from the cold. My name is Higgins and I'm from Vancouver, Canada, and I moved down here 5 or 6 years ago, and I'm from a big Irish family. I'm one of 7 kids and grew up singing with my siblings, and so through that I fell in love with songwriting. Blood orange sun on the indigo sky, you know it's gonna come back up. Moon's gone dark, it's her goodbye, and nothing's the way it was. But you're sitting there on a guitar porch, thinking she'll come back for something she forgot. You can hold your breath like a ringing chord for something more, but she's gone like cigarette ash, can't burn it back. Gone like yesterday's wine, you're gonna find holding on to hope. It's like holding on to smoke. She's gone, let her go.
Looks great. Looks great. I like your plant in the back. Looks phenomenal. It's like songwriter's paradise.
It's kind of the thing lately. Like I've noticed a lot of people are getting plants now, like filling their house up. So we
Yeah. People are giving more attention to their backdrops. Right? I should do a little more to mine, but people are really getting original, right?
Pretty good backdrop. You got U2 in there. What else you got?
Black
Yeah.
Keys, I think I got. You know, I should put some more country, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. It's good. Well, good to talk to you. I'm glad this could work.
Same. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time, Kat. You know, you're one of the most spectacular and in-demand songwriters in Nashville, and you've been for quite a few years. And now you finally released some of your own stuff, and we couldn't be happier. So thanks for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, Kat. By the way, like, do songwriters ever get to turn off the button? Like, are you always getting like lyrics and stuff into your head in the most random like moments of the day?
Yes, totally. It
Oh
kind of,
my God.
yeah, I know. It kind of can hijack a conversation because you'll be just chatting with a friend, and it's like you have that thing that happens to your brain where it's like, well, that could be a song. And so
Right.
those are the best songs, actually, when you stop and you just write it right then. So yeah, that's the challenge, to know how to balance.
So what happens if you're watching like Netflix, a movie, whatever, with your siblings, and you get this crazy idea? Do you go to your notepad in your cell phone, or you're like, excuse me, I got a dip? Like, what happens in these cases?
Usually now I write the title down with the storyline, with the idea in my notes, because I've learned how to like channel it when I want to. But yeah. I think the best songs really do. It's like when I have that self-control to step out of the room and just start writing it. It's awesome. Really a lot. It usually is better.
People are probably like, "Where's Kat? Wasn't she watching the movie?" Yes, like she's just doing her thing. She's just doing the Kat thing again.
I like that. And I heard Miranda Lambert once say that the hard work in being a songwriter really does come in the moments when you get inspired. That self-control to sit down and go write it right then. That's where the hard work is put in, which is, I can very much relate to that. You know, it's doing it right then and there that makes a difference. So
sure, absolutely, Kat. So you're in Nashville, right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how have you been with the pandemic and your family in Canada? How's everyone and you doing?
Oh my goodness. I love that you know that my family is from Canada already. That's cool.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, as you know, they closed the Canadian borders. So it's kind of weird to not be able to go home anyway, because I'm a non-resident now. I'm a resident of the US.
Okay.
So I've missed them. We Zoom on Sundays and catch up. But yeah, Nashville's pretty chill still. I mean,
and I read somewhere that you're like an introvert. So
Yeah,
has it been like, well, this is what I've been doing all along. This is right up my alley.
exactly. Yeah, my closest friends and I always talk about it's not that big of a difference for us introverts, you know. I'm kind of a homebody. I've never really been a bar fly, or you know, someone that really loves the nightlife thing. I love just having a glass of wine at a friend's house, and that we can still do that. We can sit on the back porch, but yeah, you know, it has been challenging in terms of my professional life. You know, everything is via Zoom now, so it can
Yeah.
get a little bit. You can get a little bit cross-eyed looking at a screen for that long.
Right. Yeah,
So,
totally. And what were you doing in like early March, Kat? I'm talking like March 6th, March 7th, like the week before everyone's like rug got pulled out from under their
I
feet.
know. Well, I was planning my release plan,
Okay.
my release strategy with my
Mhm.
team,
Yeah,
and we kind of had this whole plan. I had shows that were booked throughout the summer that I
of
was super
course.
excited about, and so I was planning the travel for that and everything. And then yeah, no one really expected it to last this long too. I think when it all hit, when the COVID stuff happened, Nashville had just been rocked by the tornadoes.
Right.
And so we were like, well, this, you know, we'll get back to normal. We'll be able to rebuild once this COVID things passes, you know, in like 2 weeks. Little did we know it would be months of quarantine.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
it's crazy, right? Especially
yeah.
now, people were pushing to September stuff, and it's like, yeah, it'll be fine by September. Yeah, Coachella, that will happen. And now it's like, no, let's September 2021, fingers crossed.
No, I think about like the major artists that have huge staff, like all these people hired for tours that aren't
Yeah.
happening, you know, buses
Oh,
losing.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
really lucky.
Freelancers, everything. Everyone involved in the world of music. Absolutely. I hear you, Ken. So anyways, so yeah, so that covers the COVID. Everyone, of course, wants to know how you were handling that. So thanks for sharing that. Let me ask you a little bit about your early life. Are you down for that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Awesome. Because it's fascinating, by the way. It's like a movie. It's like a movie. Like who's going to play you? I don't know, but it's going to be great.
Oh,
So you are one of 7
yes,
kids.
yes.
Wow. It's okay. And you grew up singing. It's like a musical family, right, Kat?
Yeah, I mean, we were little when we were singing together, and we loved the movie The Sound of Music.
Hmm.
I don't know if you remember that movie. It was a musical.
Yeah.
My dad was
On Traps.
always encouraging us. The Van Trapp family, yes.
Yeah. And your dad is Irish guy through and through, right? Like
Oh,
super.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
He would play you stuff like the Chieftains and, Cara Dillon and all that stuff, right?
yeah, totally. I love it. I have so much of my dad in me, and we just chatted on the phone a few days ago, and I was asking him about a song that I came across. Like, he's such a music guy, so I'm super thankful that, you know, both of my parents were pretty musical. They never sang themselves, but they were very encouraging with whatever we were doing musically. And yeah, we started very young. We would record little cassette tapes for my granny in Ireland, who was
That's
alive at
awesome.
the time.
Is she
And,
still alive? No, she's no longer alive.
passed
Okay.
away.
What was her name?
Mary.
Mary. So
Um,
that's nice. So you record tapes and send them over.
I think her name was Mary. Hold up, let me. I just called her Granny my whole life. Yeah, I think it was Mary. I think it was Mary.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
but,
nice though.
Yeah, it's she was. I just remember I was pretty young when she passed away, but she was very gentle. I remember her hands. She came to visit Canada when I was very little, and so yeah, just so much of the Irish influence in everything that I do, and I get emotional listening to Irish music still. I just love it so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And what songs did you perform with your siblings and, St. Patrick's Day parties with your dad and all that stuff? What kind of stuff? Yeah.
Oh man, we loved the melancholy stuff, the sad stories. Actually, that explains why I love country music as well. There's a lot of very tragic storytelling, but yeah, we loved the Minstrel Boy, Danny Boy. Fields of Athenry. We sang
Nice.
Fields of Athenry in 3-part harmony. And I mean, those songs come back really quickly. You know, when we get together, we can sing
Yeah,
those over again, and it feels very natural. So
that's amazing. That's great, Kat. That's a great story. So, of course, then you and some of your older brothers, you guys do the Higgins family band, of course. That
yeah, yeah,
you've
yeah.
you've talked about this to death, but maybe some of my audience doesn't know this. But you guys had a bunch of you guys were very successful in Canada. A bunch of awards.
Yeah, we were, we got nominated and we had a lot of exposure. We were super blessed to kind of
Yeah,
just get embraced by the Canadian music industry. And we did a lot of touring. I felt like I learned the all about what it's like on the road pretty quickly.
yeah,
It's pretty grueling, but it is so rewarding, that feeling when you're in the middle of the stage, just looking out at these faces and they feel it and you feel it. It's just magical. But
same energy, right? I bet you
yeah,
missed that.
oh, I absolutely do. Oh my gosh. Because there's something that's magical about live music. It's just, I mean, people
Yeah,
can film it, but it's not the same when you're there.
no,
You have a moment,
I agree.
and it's
And these
it's
live streams have been cool, to see Chris Martin with his cat and his pajamas. Oh, that's been nice and good. And we appreciate it, but it's not the same.
It's not. I know. I really hope that it comes back soon because, there's just nothing like it. It moves through you. It's electricity. It's incredible.
Right.
And so, yeah, we did so much of that in Canada. And when we got our record deal in Canada, the family band downsized. One of the members, we had 4,
Mm-hmm.
3 sisters and 1 brother, including
Yeah.
me. And one of the sisters, my sister Mary, she decided to just have a regular life and not do the music thing. So, but anyway, we still get together.
But this
I
was
go
not
home.
Eileen, right? Eileen was
No,
later at the end.
Eileen
Okay.
was the
We'll get to
one
Eileen.
that, yeah, she was the one that when she decided to slow down and leave, like she was the pillar of the band, I would say.
Oh,
Um,
rough.
yeah, she was the center, at least for me. She was the extrovert. I was like, yay, I can just sit back and like she'll do the talk. But I loved it. We talk about our dynamic and how fun it was to be in interviews together, because I would be there kind of throwing in the random thoughts and she would kind of lead it, and it was just so fun. But yeah, no, Eileen and I are still really close. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we had that time together.
Cool. And you're a super aunt now, right?
Yeah. I have lots of nieces and nephews, and they're growing so fast. I try to Zoom with them as much as I can.
Oh my God, you must be their hero. You're bragging rights in other schools. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh my goodness, they're so cool. I mean, they're so young, and I still just feel like I have to catch up with how the young people talk right now. Like they're little girls, so they're catching on with like what TikTok is and stuff, and just like young things. I feel like I don't know enough about TikTok, but I love catching up with them for sure.
That's cool. That's cool. So, okay. So when Eileen kind of left the band, that was rough. That was kind of like the breaking point a little bit, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Tell me about like, oh my God, like that. I know that was a little bit rough for you at the moment. Was it like a conversation? Did you guys see it coming? Was it like shocking, or was it like the writing was on the wall?
It was kind of on the wall. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we were changing so much, but I still didn't believe it when we decided it. Like, she sort of shared her feelings, and then she had to be real with me. I remember where I was when she was first telling me and stuff. And it just, when you're young and you've been playing music for 10 plus years, I mean, that's like most of your life.
Yeah.
And so I just couldn't, it was really hard to imagine what life could be like without the band.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was so healing, and it was really good for me to learn how to think of myself as an individual and ask myself, what do you want to do, Kat?
Yeah.
Just go do it. So
it's so interesting when you make that switch of seeing things like, what if I don't look at this as the end of
right.
something, but as the beginning of something else? It's so simple, and it's like it can really change everything.
Absolutely. And I think there are so many versions of that. I mean, I think a lot of people cling to whatever they have right now, when the best thing they can do is kind of open their hand and let, I don't know if you believe in God or whatever, but I really do believe that God makes it very clear to us what we need to do next. And so it's very
scary. Change is scary, but
it's so scary. Yeah, it's so scary, but it's so invigorating when it shows like to be a good thing.
I love it. Kat, you're such a great role model, not only with your music, but with all these ideas. Like, you got it together. I love it. It's great. I'm inspired.
You're teeing up the answers, though. You're a good.
No, man. Yeah. This is awesome. This is awesome, Kat. I do want to move to when you moved to Nashville, but I just want to ask you one more question about your family, because it goes back to that, what we were talking about, and kind of being resilient and all that. Is like your older brother, he was in a pretty severe forklift accident, right?
Yes.
But I bring it up because he has a happy ending.
Yeah, that's another thing that's just like, where does that, I mean, they said he would never walk again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what we had always sung together as siblings, and
How old were you when this happened?
When he broke his back, I think I was like 11 or 12.
So it was like an early kind of like, oh shit, like life can get a little heavy.
Exactly. Yeah, that was the first experience. That was the first trauma that I would say we as a family experienced. I remember where, I was in the kitchen looking at my mom when she got the call. It was just me and her standing there. And I remember my mom on the phone just went down to the ground, and I'd never seen her just collapse.
She just knew. Oh my God.
Well, she got the call that he was in a serious accident, and they didn't know if he was going to live, and that he broke his back. And when most people, when they hear, your son broke his back, it's like change forever. It'll never be the same. And most people don't walk again. Well, where the break happened, if it was higher, he would have been a quadriplegic. Like they said, he might not have any use of his neck from his neck down. And then they said, oh, just his legs, he'll be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. And then through physiotherapy and prayers and all that, I mean, it was amazing. He walks normally, like you can't even tell. He doesn't even walk with a limp. So yeah, we're just
such a great story. Such a great story. And all these things, kind of like listening to all your music, the ones that you've written and the ones that you are performing now, like, man, all this is like little scars that like make the color of it. It's really nice.
Thank you. Gosh, I feel like when people go through really hard stuff and heavy stuff, even if they're not talking directly about those experiences, there's just this knowing that people suffer. And so it can make you see other people's suffering maybe a little bit more clearly when you're in front of them. I've noticed that.
Yeah, absolutely, Kat. Yeah, for sure. So anyway, okay, so all this happens, and then you go solo. You're like, all right, it's time. It's my time to maybe take this risk. You go to Nashville. Mm-hmm. You start going periodically, right, a little bit, and you come across. We all have these people that have changed our lives, right? That come at this intersection moments, and we can just never thank them enough. And of course, I'm talking about Derek Rutan.
Absolutely.
And his wife Margaret, right? And Derek Rutan, for my audience that doesn't know, he is a Canadian, very successful songwriter in his own right.
Right.
And he lives in Nashville and took you under his wing. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, Derek Rutan. Yeah, he's had a bunch of success as an artist as well as a songwriter. And I would say he's just a great example of dedicated, hard work. He's very passionate about songwriting and country music history. Margaret and I always joke about he has, he has a Rolodex in his head of information and years and middle names. And like, he just knows all the facts about country music. It's amazing. But yeah, I'm thankful for what he taught me and the introductions he made for me. I mean, he introduced me to Pat Higdon, and that is my guy. He's still my publisher. Amazing. All these years I've been here. We did a co-venture with Songs in LA first, and then we did this co-venture with BMG almost 5 years ago. So I'm super thankful for everything Derek Rattan has done. And Margaret's like my soul sister, mother, friend. She's just pure
That's awesome.
Love.
Well, shout out to Derek and Margaret for, helping us give this artist to the world. So shout out to them. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, of course. So, okay, so you eventually moved to Nashville. What was your first experiences living here in the States? Not visiting, but like, was it overwhelming? Was it scary? New country,
absolutely.
Big portions of food, the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I loved all the food options here, for sure. I think I just put my head down pretty quick when I got here and realized I did not know much about songwriting. Like, I had done some songwriting in Canada, but I was really thankful to be around people that were kind of like teachers right out of the gate, and I learned that I had to learn a lot. Right. So, I just kind of stayed busy. And when I first moved to town, I was working at in order to move to the US, you have to have a work visa lined up.
Right.
So I didn't move until I had something lined up.
With the publishing and all that?
Well, I was taking meetings with publishers, but it usually takes a while to sign a deal, even if there are some publishers that are interested. You got to write with their writers, and you got to be available in Nashville to kind of dance with them a little bit before they sign you. And so I was super thankful that this guy named David Kalmusky, right around the time when Derek Rattan was introducing me to publishers, I met a producer, engineer, David Kalmusky, who we just got talking, and I told him that I had done some audio engineer work, which is another side of the story too. I studied audio engineering for a year just so that I could learn how to help produce the Higgins.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to get my hands in there, but I didn't know the equipment or the software, and I wanted to learn that. So I learned that when I was in Canada, like years before moving to Nashville. And anyway, so this studio that David Kalmusky ran, they did a work visa with me, and they hired me to be a vocal engineer and a vocal editor. Yeah, so my first year, I worked for them while I took meetings. I would write during the day, and then I would go do that at night. I would work in the studio at night. So it was pretty intense, but it was so exciting. So yeah, that's a long-winded way of sort of saying.
Oh, it's great. Oh, no, absolutely. It's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. So, okay. So let's fast forward. Your songwriting, and you're working with like the A-listers, with some of your heroes, right? Like, Carrie Underwood, Kenny Chesney, dude, like insane stuff. I have a couple questions about this. Like, number one, how is it when when you meet with someone like Kenny Chesney? Yeah. It's like how are those first meetings like? Like, do you meet over coffee? Do you meet in a conference room? Like, how do you find out what he wants, the whole thing? Like, give us a picture.
Well, we don't. See, the thing with songwriters is you show up every day, and you don't write specifically for one artist. Like, you don't walk into the room saying, this is going to be presented to Kenny Chesney at the end of the day. Yes, you go in with your head thinking, well, Kenny Chesney's cutting soon, so let's try and write for him. But
got it.
The song goes to your publisher, and then from your publisher, they have a pitch meeting, and they call them song pluggers. So, they're your publisher, and they're also song plugger. There's all these terms. Anyway, but they have a pitch meeting, and basically that's how that happened. I had never met Kenny, and the Carrie Underwood cut, I had not met
Yeah.
Carrie either. But, you know, after the song, they would hear a song, so that the A&R for the record label has a pitch meeting with the publisher. And so the A&R say, like, Sarah Kanabi over at Broken Bow. I'm just using that as an example. She'll meet with my publisher, hear songs and put songs on hold. And then she plays those songs for the artist. It's just a long chain of command.
It's amazing. Okay.
Long thing. So then that's when you get personal. That's what's really cool. When an artist loves a song enough to be like, who wrote this? I want to meet them. I want to write with them. You know, like stuff like that. When that it comes afterwards, it's super cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what happened with Carrie. And she didn't end up cutting the other song we wrote, but yeah. So, and then Kenny, I just met Kenny after he cut the song, you know, around his release date, and he was super cool.
That's awesome.
He's been such a supporter with my music so far.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I have to tell, I wonder, when you write a song like as spectacular as Knowing You Can't, for example, is it weird? Is it hard? Obviously, I'm not a songwriter, so it's like, this is like my questioning. Like letting it go, your baby, like for such a spectacular song. I remember Dolly Parton, when I saw in a documentary that when she gave the song away and stuff like that, sometimes it can be a little hard, right? Like,
absolutely. I would say it's hard to let go of the writing process. It wasn't hard to let go of the song, to go to Kenny, to really go anywhere. It's wonderful to see it have its own life. So yeah. I wasn't necessarily, I wasn't possessive of the song. It was more, it was like, is it finished? That's what's hardest for me, to say, oh, this is done 100%. My publisher will tell you as well if you ask me. I will tweak and tweak and tweak. I love tweaking. And I think it was Bob Dylan that said a song is never really finished. It's just abandoned.
You just let it go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's how it is. I know it's like, I definitely feel that. So, in that way, yeah, it's hard letting it go, but it was not hard to let it go to Kenny.
Yeah. At least if you're going to let it go, let's let it go to this guy, right? Exactly.
Oh yeah. I mean, top of my list, like, especially for that song and that chorus and everything, like Kenny was the exact voice artist that we were dreaming about. So.
Yeah, of course. Well, Kat, oh my God, you're being so generous with your time, and time is flying. But let me ask you a couple of questions about your songwriting. One that ties over with songwriting and one with yours. What is more satisfying, when you hear a song on the radio that you wrote, or when you hear, like, I don't know, We Go Driving? Which one gives you the butterflies more?
Ooh, like a song that I sing,
yes,
or I wrote that someone else
sang? Right.
Oh, it's a different thing, but I would say, oh man, it's both. Just like when I got in the car and it was midnight, the night that Kenny Chesney put out Knowing You, it was overwhelming, the amount of, I mean, I felt that so deeply. It was just, it made us, it brought the song to another level. But I think, the nerves, I think I had more nerves, like nervousness when We Go Driving went live and was out in the world, because not only had I sung it and wrote it, but I produced it and, you know, edited those things. And like I had help with all of it, but it was, it's a different kind. I can't even say which is more, you know,
just different.
Butterflies. Yeah. But definitely I had butterflies with, when another artist cuts a song and you respect them so much. It's like very, surreal.
Sure. Wow, Kat. And speaking of We Go Driving, that's one of the 2 songs that you've released this year too, right? Yes. And oh my God, this one's beautiful. It's such a great song, and it's such a great story. So is it true that you came up with the concept after driving from a studio at like 1 a.m, and you see this visual in a car with a child? Like, oh my God, that's such an epic. It's epic. Tell us about this story.
Oh my gosh. It was just so weird because that's kind of sad, you know. It's a sad thing to remember, and but you know, it made me realize that picture that I saw was like, it probably happens a lot, you know, like
Right.
the idea that little children are in a car late at night. You know, I know a lot of people would go on road trips and they'd have their children in the back seat or the front seat of their car, you know, and there's no domestic violence going on. But it was, I'm so glad that I just started writing that night when I got home, because that's a perfect example of what you just said at the beginning, was like, I could have just gone to bed and said, you know, cool. You know, that, I mean, that, what happened there? And it was lingering in my head of like, wow. But if I hadn't started the song right then, I don't think we would have written it. And I had so much of that visual bouncing around before I went to write with Troy Verges, and
Yeah.
Troy just wrapped it up so concisely. It was wonderful.
I love it. What a great story. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. Yeah, man. That's great. Okay, let's talk about Let Her Go,
Okay.
which you just released like maybe less than 2 weeks ago, like 10 days ago.
Yes.
What a great song. Oh my God.
Thank
Kat.
you.
Oh my God. Like goosebumps when you hear it. I know
Really?
there's, oh yeah, I know there's stats like this on Spotify. I'm sure you can find them. I'm telling you, I bet you can see people have played it like back to back to back to back. It's one of
That's
the,
really cool.
yeah, it's one of those songs that like once you hit play, like you hit play like 5 times. I'm telling
Oh, you are just making me feel so good. Thank you.
you.
That is like the greatest thing that somebody could hear. I mean, to want to get a second listen. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I love that everyone is digging it, you know.
Yeah.
It was hard to know what song to put out next, you know, like, because I have this group of songs that we've kind of rearranged the release strategy on it, because we were going to start with an up tempo, and We Go Driving is kind of a mid, but the next song that I'm going to put out is going to be an up tempo. So, but I'm glad that Gone, Let Her Go, people could relate with that.
Oh
you
yeah.
know, and it flowed from We Go Driving. I like the message saying like, you know, we're leaving, and then the next song is like, we're gone, you know, let go of it, you know. And so
Totally.
you know,
Because who can't
but,
relate to that? Everyone.
yeah, right, exactly. I mean, who hasn't struggled letting go of someone, and who hasn't left someone that they've had, you know, they've had to leave, like, so yeah, and just embracing the reality of the situation, and embracing the healing, you know.
Oh my God, Kat, that's awesome. You've been so generous with your time.
Oh, thank you.
Is the rumor true that you're gonna maybe perform a little song for us?
Yeah, I can do that for
Yes.
sure.
Oh my God, we're so excited. That's awesome.
Yeah, no,
It's a special treat. Thank you so much, Kat.
so what kind of, what song are you thinking? I mean, like, there's so many options.
Well, what are you feeling? What are you feeling as an artist right now on this? What day is today? Thursday. What are you feeling?
You know, I could play We Go Driving. I mean, Bobby Hamrick, my co-writer on Gone, Let Her Go, came up with that acoustic guitar riff. And so, you know, when I play it, it's a little bit different, but I, you know, I drove We Go Driving guitar wise, so I'm comfortable kind of playing that on acoustic.
Oh my God, can't wait. Thank you so much. What a treat.
Oh yeah. Should I just play a first verse and chorus, and then
Whatever you want.
okay.
You have the floor.
Okay. Thank you.
This is We Go Driving by Kat Higgins, everybody. You can play it now on Apple Music, Spotify, and wherever you consume your tunes.
Thank you.
In my Superman pajamas, I'm all tucked in, watching the fan go round, trying not to listen. The TV doesn't drown out Daddy's voice downstairs, and Mama comes in and whispers, let's go driving. we go driving, get that feeling like we're flying. Mama takes me where the stars are out and lights are dancing. On that fast road, she says, lay your head beside me. Ain't no one can catch us when we go driving. When we go driving. Now I'm drawn on the window, foggy from my breath. I sit back and my feet up like a big kid, playing soft the time, and she turns it up because I love to sing along. Mama, why are you crying? I think it's fun when we go driving. We go driving, get that feeling like we're flying. Mama takes me where the stars are out and lights are dancing. On that fast road, she says, lay your head beside me. Ain't no one can catch us when we go driving. We go driving. Fly by the exit where she always turns around. She takes my hand and tells me that it's different now. It'll all be different now. On that fast road, she says, lay your head beside me. Ain't no one can catch us, no. Oh, no one can ever catch us when we go driving. We go driving. My Superman pajamas, we're flying, flying.
Wow. Oh my God, Kat. I hope you're ready for Bridgestone Arena, 18,000 people with their iPhones lit up,
You're so
swaying their arms to that, because that's your future really quickly coming. Now, what a great song, spectacular song. Thank you so much for playing that, Kat.
Thank you for having me on your show.
And thank you for we went way over time, but it was just a treat,
did
you know.
we? Oh my God.
That's what happens when you're having fun. That's what no.
Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't matter. We're having fun. Thank you so much, Kat. That was awesome.
Thank you. Well, I hope to chat again soon and have a great rest of your day. Where are you coming live from?
Miami.
Oh, Miami. Oh my gosh, I've never been, but I've heard great things about Miami.
Well, it's not the best time to come. Unfortunately, we're going in the wrong direction with the virus.
Oh dear.
Yeah. It was weird, right? Because like places like New York started well and started poorly, and now they're doing well, and we started well, and we opened early, and now we're doing poorly. So who knows what's gonna happen, man?
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Miami wise though, the co-writer for Gone Let Her Go, one of the co-writers, James Slater, he's a really good songwriter. He's from Miami. He lived in Miami for years, so maybe that's someone you should talk to and
Amazing.
on your podcast. But yeah,
Hey,
thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely.
Well, I really appreciate it.
Of course, Kat, keep rocking, stay safe. Much love to your family in Canada, and see you around.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon. Bye.